Ma'am, what kind of examples?
The same input, process, and output. For these three things, I have given two examples. One for the some dish, right, and other was related with the maths. Now you have to give me some examples, real time example, that where you can imagine that okay, this is the output. I need so and so input, and I'll perform so and so process. This you have to think and you have to answer me.
When passing an exam, we have to get the books and we have to study hard and then we pass the exam.
Yes, very good. Nishk is saying wood process furniture. Yes, Nishk.
I'm like processing cans out of machines.
Can you please repeat?
एक minute. I'm manufacturing cans out of machines.
Manufacturing
Cans, metal cans.
Okay. So the
Ma'am,
end
for
at the end, what you want?
ma'am,
Metal can.
metal
For
cans.
that, what would be the input?
Ma'am, some metal
Yes.
sheets, and then the process will be of rolling that metal sheets into shapes and into cylinders. Then we get the perfect output of metal cans.
Yes. Good. Imanshi is saying like we want to make ice. So we should get water. Process will be keep in freezer and output will be ice. Yes, to make craft. Yes, very good. Any other examples, guys?
Ma'am, if you
Ma'am,
go to
some chemical reaction.
Prapti, wait. Hem is saying something. Then I'll come to you.
Ma'am,
Yes, Hem.
we can take a chemical reaction in which inputs are some chemicals, and we will process it, and we will get a desired output.
Yeah, means but before doing all the processes and before selecting all the elements or the chemicals, you need to decide that what actual chemical you want at the end.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yes. Right.
Ma'am,
Yes, Prapti.
I want to get
Ma'am,
juice
if you go
output.
to
Wait now, Naveen, wait.
Yes.
Prapti is saying something.
ma'am, if we go to Xerox center, then if we want 2 copies of a Xerox, then we tell them to give 2 copies. They will give input for 2 copies, and we will get output.
Yeah, very good. Swaminathan, normal human, training, and sports people. Yes. Swaminathan, where are you? Okay, now Naveen was saying something.
Yes, ma'am. I want to get the juice output. So,
Okay.
so input will be water and sugar, and process will be sugar plus water, and output will be juice.
Yeah, perfect. Akshay is saying in case of farming like sowing seeds and irrigation, harvesting, etc. Yes, Nidhi is saying to obtain sugar, inputs sugar cane juice, output sugar. Perfect. So in short, input, process, and output concept is clear to everyone, right? It's clear to everyone. Perfect. So let's move to the next topic. Okay, can you see the screen, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So after this input, process, output, let's understand some programming language and we know what is programming language, right? But we'll see a little bit in more detail. So basically there are certain types of programming language like a machine language, assembly language, high level language, and many other. Normally we call them the level language, like first generation, second generation. Okay, now see here what happens in your system. Very first you have the hardware. Hardware normally communicates with the machine language. which is always written with the 0 and 1, right? 0 and 1. See here, this is your hardware. Your hardware is directly communicating, or it understands only machine language, which is written into 0 and 1. But we cannot directly process our C language or any other C or a C++, any other language. We cannot directly go to the hardware, or directly we cannot give any instruction to the processor. In between, there is something that we call the assembly language. What does it mean? Assembly language is a combination or a fusion of two things. Combination of the machine language as well as some higher level languages, where you can find, can you see this guys? Add AB. Here we have add AB. What is this? See, it is very easy to understand that what I want to perform, I want to do C is equal to A plus B. I want to perform this operation using the C language. Okay, fine. I'll write this statement, C is equal to A plus B. But I cannot send this data directly to the hardware. So what I'll do, in between something is there that we call the assembly language. Assembly language, what it does, they have, assembly languages have some mnemonics. This add, subtraction, multiplication. Also we can say commands. Okay, so I want to perform the add, I want to perform the addition. On which data I want to perform the addition? On A and B. On these two variables, on these two data, I want to perform the addition operation. And after this, it will go to the machine language, and then it will go to the hardware. This is just a process that how your C language data go to the hardware, or work with the processor, or go to the processor to communicate. Gradually you will understand that what is the actual meaning of this communication, like why first we have C, then high level language, then assembly language, then machine language, and then we have the hardware. What happens, let's take an example. What happens, suppose yesterday we talked about the remember mute and unmute button, remember guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So
Yes,
what
ma'am.
happens, ultimately by pressing that button, you give the instruction to your hardware. That is the last level. But that button or some coding must be there written in some particular language. Let's say C language. But this cannot go directly to the processor to give the command that okay, just mute or unmute the voice. No, it has to go through all the levels. And for that we have different layers in between, that we will learn, that we have different compiler, translators are there, and that we will learn. But this is the how different programming languages are there. You can find high level languages, middle level languages, and low level languages. Fine, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Okay. So here we have the machine level language. Some brief introduction about the machine level language. See, before we go for the core C programming, we need to understand some concepts, some theory portion, and so we are learning this. Machine level language is basically, as you can see in the image, it is solely written with the 0 and 1. Only machine can understand. Can we understand this thing? Can we understand? No, it is not possible. So also we call them the machine code. We call them the machine code sometimes, or a machine language we call. Then a set of instruction. What is set of instruction? Anyone?
Program.
Yeah. If I ask you to go to the kitchen and bring the water bottle from the fridge. So what I am telling you, or what I am giving you instruction, what I'm giving you instruction, you have to perform one job, you have to perform one task, and your task is bring the water bottle. But you don't know where is kitchen, you don't know where is bottle. So what I have to do, I have to give instructions, a set of instructions, and through the set of instructions you will perform the job. So the steps which you have written to perform the task, we call them a set of instruction, and that we call a program. What we call?
Program.
Program. If anyone asks what is set of instruction, it's a program. It's a program, and that program is nothing but that which you perform, input, process, and you get the output. That is actually your program. Fine, guys.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Whenever you have any doubt, please stop me and ask your doubt, please.
Ma'am, I have a question.
Yeah, please ask.
How exactly does the machine understand the binary language? Because the binary language is 0 and 1, but machine is made of hardware and electricity and stuff. How can it understand that?
Okay, okay. Let me explain. See, normally what happens? Can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Kisne पूछा the question? Name? Who asked the question?
Ma'am, I asked the question. Shashwat Sharma.
What's your name?
Shashwat Sharma.
Shashwat. Okay, Shashwat. Can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Now see. Let's say, everyone, let's say this is your wire or a cable, right? Through which you pass the data, right? When you send the signal, irrespective of any kind of data. When I say it's a 1 and 0, now what happens? Let's say I'm sending HELLO to you, and this data will definitely pass through some wire or a wireless medium. Yes,
Yes.
right? So, but before that, this HELLO will be converted into some sequence. Let's say 1011, some sequence, random sequence I'm taking. So, this is actually my hello. Now, what happens? This is called the cables or the wires. We call them bus, which are actually responsible to transfer the data. Now, this 1 and 0 passes through this, but all this bus or anything, everything are in the form of the integrated circuits, that is the IC. And this IC has lots of transistors and capacitors, lots of things, lots of components are there, capacitors. These capacitors are nothing but the sequence. Let's say I have this capacitors I have. Now, see my sequence. It's a 1, 0. So ultimately, this data is going to pass through this capacitor. So because it's 1, it will be filled with the charge, that is the power supply. Second is 0, it will be empty. Then I have 1, it will be filled with the charge. Then I have 1, it will be filled with the charge. Again I have 1, it will be filled with the charge. Then 0, it will be empty. So the capacitor is an element which holds the charge. If it holds the charge, means the value is 1. If there is no charge, the value is 0. Understood? It's actually core processor part, but this is just a overview. I hope you understood.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's get back to our topic. Okay guys, so Okay, and all these instructions will be executed by the CPU. What is CPU, guys?
Central
Central
processing
processing
unit.
unit.
Central processing
Perfect.
unit.
It's a central processing unit, and inside your central processing unit, let's say this is your CPU. This CPU contains ALU, CU, and some registers or the memory. So this ALU is actually responsible to execute any operation, whatever the command you give to the system. So it will always execute it directly by the CPU. So normally we don't call that ALU is processing the data. Normally we use term CPU because ALU alone cannot work because it requires control unit and registers as well. So in whole we call that CPU is performing the job or executing the instruction. Fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. The next is each instruction performs a very specific task. Of course, each and every instruction has some particular task, such as load, jump. Don't go for this statement, fifth statement, because first we need to write the code in the C, and then we will understand what is the actual meaning of load and jump and everything. So keep last 2 points aside. We'll discuss after having our first or a second practical. So don't worry about this. So I hope machine level language concept is clear to everyone.
Yes, ma'am.